Hi, everyone. Mitch from PickDogs.com. I got Jay, Chris, and Costi here. It is Friday, September 27th, 2024, here with your live show. We just keep showing up every day. No excuses, just free picks. I have a lot of reasons not to be here, just like everybody else. Life happens. But tell you what else happens. We just bring it every single day, showing up here at Pick Dogs. Interesting day yesterday. That best kicker in the world missed a chip shot field goal. Certainly had some ramifications. Have to believe that he was paid off by somebody to miss that. He certainly hit it with the outside of his foot and was very obvious that he pushed it on purpose. I don't know, man. Seems like something a little shaky there in Big D with the way that all went down there, and I don't know, man. It just seems that this guy doesn't miss a kick, and then all of a sudden his foot's wide. I mean, I could see it when he went back to kick it. He wasn't going to make it. His foot was just wide open. I kick, I kick pine cones in the yard better than that. I personally don't get it. Meanwhile, the Army staying on schedule, absolutely busting up Temple. Something fierce in that game. And then for me, big one for me was the 13-inning celebration in the Twin Cities with the Marlins getting it done at plus 205. Put me back on top of the Major League Baseball standings for the season. Jay, what's happening? A lot of information there. Not a lot of time. You want to give us the Jay version or the Eric Pathy version? We're here. We're here for you either way.
You know, all I could think about was an old bit that I've heard you say many a times in the Meadowlands. Giants.
Giants. That is how it works, man.
And, that's how it went. Like it's short, sweet, simple. That's how it went. So, you know, I'm not a big believer in the Vegas call, but I think that
But
was
but
probably
but five, not a key number by any stretch of the imagination. This game's sitting on that number the whole game, sitting around that five. Odd, stuff happens, and then at the end, where it just looks like it doesn't really matter. It matters, and I know there were fives out there. There were 5.5s, mostly 5.5s. That's what I know.
hey, here's what it is. You have some over the course of the season, you'll have those. You'll be on the right side of one of them. I was on the wrong side of that one last night, and it hurt.
I think a lot of people are on the wrong side of it.
Yeah, so it is what it is. New day, Friday, money making Friday, heading into a money making weekend. Baseball on its way out the door. Heading into the postseason.
Three more
And
games, 3 more days. Well, Monday
sir,
there'll be games, but
sir.
for most teams.
And then we got you know, I think a really good college football card. I'm excited about this college football card. It's probably the best card really of the season. So I'm excited for college football, and NFL still got a lot of meat on the bone for Sunday. So ready to break it down with the guys. Ready to break it down with the guys.
Yeah, the college football card, the way that it should always break out is that every week is more meaningful than the last. But a lot of times what happens is the matchups just don't work out that way. But the thing is that these conference games are conference games for a reason. I think with the consolidation, this is one of the good things with the consolidation of the conferences is that you get a lot more good games, or a lot more games that look good on paper. These USC Wisconsin games, which normally I don't know how good of a game it's going to end up being, but it's certainly a lot more entertaining for us than seeing that same Wisconsin Purdue matchup that we have to sit through every freaking year and then hear about how great they are, how awesome the Big Ten is, and meanwhile we all sit here and you're just like, what are you talking about? And then they go to the postseason and get shellacked, and it's kind of like, oh man, I don't know what happened here. It's like, yeah, because the conference sucked from top to bottom and they beat up on each other because there was no dominant team. And I think that's what basically happens there. But Chris, I could sit here and badmouth Temple all day long, but I'll leave it to you since you're the one that picked them yesterday. What do you think?
No, I didn't. I had Army and I had the over.
Sounded like you had Temple to me.
The
I
over,
had, I
I had
had
Army.
Temple. I'll raise my hand.
Don't be putting crappy football teams in my mouth. Stop it.
That doesn't even sound right, man. That doesn't even sound right. Is that a football team in your mouth?
You knew what I meant, and that's all that mattered to me.
Yeah,
but
unfortunately,
all I'm saying is I really hope that Brandon Aubrey stubbed his toe at the hotel room or had the runs when he got back, because that was brutal. Don't wish anything bad on anybody, just a minor inconvenience for the evening. But yeah, college football, I started delving into the videos, did the breakdown for yesterday. Yeah, there's a lot of solid football games this weekend. My bold prediction: Army gonna make the college football playoff. I really want to see them, and this is a team that I want to see Army in the college football playoff as the Group of 5 representative.
What are you talking about? Army in the college football playoff?
Why not?
They play a decent Power 5 team. They will get absolutely blown out.
Yeah, and so half the teams from the Big Ten that they're going to put in there anyway.
But I'm saying you could make that case for almost any Group of 5 team that you're probably going to try to throw in there.
Yep,
and
I'm with you.
And I'd at least like to see Army in there because they play good defense. You know, it's exciting
the best
to see
of the bunch. Tulane just played a bunch of these teams. Right?
They got a chance. Yeah. They have a chance when you look at their schedule. Tulsa, UAB, East Carolina, Air Force is going to be a tough one. North Texas is not a pushover. Then they have
not a great Air Force team this year. Not a great Air Force team.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
not a great
Navy's decent.
UTSA,
the Army, Navy. Yeah. Army's roadblock is that they play in the AAC, and the AAC just does not look as tough as it has before.
If they run their conference and their only loss is Notre Dame, they might be in.
Well, Northern Illinois certainly will have a stake in it, and so will James Madison.
I was going to say the only problem is that JMU has better wins, and JMU I think has a tougher conference to go through in the Sun Belt. So if it's JMU versus Army side by side, I think JMU is going to get the nod. So maybe someone from the Mountain West, maybe a UNLV or a, But I think that if I'm
UNLV might be cooked with that they running back and they quarterback. It might be cooked. So
what do you think Army's best chance of being ranked all year is?
Winning games usually.
No, just like where are they going to be ranked? What's the highest you think they could achieve?
It doesn't matter. Rankings are the stupidest thing that there is in college football.
I'm just saying,
college basketball.
Where do you put them?
I think you realize the guys who make the rankings don't watch the games, right? I mean, you know that, right?
Well, there's two different polls.
Right, and neither of them watch the games, right? You fully understand that.
Right, they're writers.
Right, so they're writing about one team at one game. So they don't watch the games. We watch more games than those guys, right? That's the reality of the situation.
Could you say for college basketball that the rankings are pretty accurate?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Okay. No, especially the preseason. We go through it every year.
I'm not talking about preseason. Like
we pull out the magazines at the end of the year, and we go through those preseason rankings. And last year they had Michigan. Everybody had them in the top 5.
Preseason's extremely hard to do. Because that's completely a coverage of.
All right. Well, we're only 4 weeks in, right? So we're not even at the halfway point. Number 1, Georgia. Yes, okay. I think that's legit. 2, Ohio State. I would say they're in the mix. No, they're not. They're kidding. They're going nowhere, man. They stink.
They're
the worst of the unbeatens, like of the power conference teams. Ohio State is the worst of the unbeaten power conference team. They're going to lose to Michigan State tomorrow, man. They're going to fall right down. They stink, man. I don't. On what planet? What, you think they're going to play Akron and Western Mich every week? I mean, seriously, man. It's like the world doesn't work like that. What happens is teams that play schedules like that all of a sudden go on the road and they get their teeth kicked in. And that's what's going to happen to this Ohio State team. You can only recycle talent through the pipeline so many years, man. At a certain point, the pipeline of talent ends. And that is the way college football has always been. And people have looked at it recently like, oh, man, the SEC is so dominant and they're always dominant, whatever. It's totally cyclical, man. If you go back just the last 10 years, the SEC hasn't won the national championship every year. And it's like, the thing is that, you go back 10 years before that, and it was a totally different mix. And you go 10 years before that, totally different mix. In the early 2000s, right? First, it was the decade of dominance in Miami. Then they're never going to lose another game. Then there was the USC Trojans are never going to lose another game. I mean, always has been like this, man. And then it cycles through, right? It cycles through. There's been some good Alabama teams, but none of them really run the table or anything. They kind of just slide in there. Ohio State had the one good year with Urban Meyer. But really, outside of that, I mean, this is a team that, look at Texas, right? I mean, they keep talking. When you hear Texas, right, or Michigan, you hear these teams and they talk about them like these are historically great programs, like they're great forever. I mean, Texas has like one national championship in like 50 or 60 years, man. I mean, seriously. Ohio State, before they won the tainted title against Miami, where they were given a penalty after the final gun of the game went off and the coaches shook hands and then they called the penalty. Outside of that game, they hadn't won a national title since 1968. I mean, that's how dominant these traditional programs are. They're pumped up by these guys and by the guys on TV, man. Then it's rarely earned on the field, rarely, and that's why they've gone to this expanded playoff, and they're going to let teams in the door, and we'll see what happens. Because I'll tell you, Clemson plays Georgia today. It's a different game. This Clemson team looks totally different than that team that played that second half against Georgia. I mean, I don't know if they beat them or if they don't beat them, but it's a totally different game. And, I think that while they were written off, I mean, Miami-Clemson ACC championship game is starting to look like a good one,
When that Georgia loss first happened and then Clemson went into App State, I was like, oh my God.
They're going to get killed by App State.
But now I think the narrative flipped where it's not, was Clemson that bad? Is Georgia that good?
And everyone came in like, oh, North Carolina's going to be so good this season. I mean, they freaking barely beat Minnesota. And then, JMU hung 70 on those guys.
53 in the first half.
70 points James Madison put on them. It's like, clearly, man.
I will always go back to the stat of that game that JMU did not have a drive over 10 plays in that game. So it was like big play after big play after big play against North Carolina in that one.
Where do they have North Carolina ranked coming into the season? So they have
top 25.
So they have Virginia Tech at 29.
Oof.
Right? I mean, they're not even freaking close to 29.
They're not even top 50.
They got Wisconsin at 31. I mean, Wisconsin's like 78 on a sunny day. They got Rutgers.
It's like now they're onto their backup quarterback, so it's
Rutgers at 46, South Carolina at 44, Florida at 37. Florida ahead of Rutgers, ahead of TCU. They got Colorado at 49, ahead of Syracuse. Who would you take, Syracuse versus Colorado? Straight up.
On what
neutral
field?
site.
Neutral
Syracuse
site.
by 38 points.
No.
Yes.
Syracuse should be favored by 4.
on a neutral field. It's probably Syracuse minus 4.5.
James
That's what I
Madison.
said. Hey,
James
proof.
Madison, Chris.
I didn't hear you. I genuinely didn't hear you. I genuinely didn't hear you.
Jay said
4.5.
Colorado minus 10. That's what I hear.
Oh, God.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that.
Please.
Sorry, I didn't hear you say 4.5.
Colorado is just too far gone. I don't even already.
I think you said 6. I don't know.
They ain't getting to the 6, man. We know that.
We halfway there.
No, yeah, you were halfway there last year, man. But as Bon Jovi said, you're living on a prayer.
I tell you what, I feel like this year they have a better shot than last year. Last night,
3-1 from the
yeah,
season. Man, hey.
they keep winning games like they won last game. They can get there.
Colorado?
Scramble.
They're not going to win another game all season. Who are they going to beat?
Who's that?
Colorado.
Colorado today.
Who are they going to beat, man? They got James Madison as 85th in this magazine.
Well, that's because Kurt Signetti left and took everyone. And they didn't think that they were going to reload.
They'll beat Cincinnati at home.
The more I'm looking at it, I don't know. Well, I'm just saying, I think that's a closer game. I think that's probably the best shot they have down the stretch.
They got Army, Chris, in here, 92nd.
What? Oh my God.
92nd.
And Army's going to be a top 25 team by season's end.
They got Mississippi State, 57th. Mississippi State is 157th, man. They're the worst SEC team by far. I mean, by far, they're the worst SEC team. They're one of the worst SEC teams I've seen since, well, Vanderbilt last year. Anyways, yeah. Like I said, Costi, the people that make the polls don't watch the games.
No, you're right. I don't say it often, but you're right.
I've been doing this for a long time, man.
I know.
Long time. How many times under Nick Saban did Alabama run the table? I mean, that's really the answer to the question. Rhymes with fun.
It's not the point.
It is the point because most of the teams in college football outside of the Alabamas and the Texases and the Michigans that get the favorable treatment from the media, everybody else, without running the table, you put destiny into somebody else's hands. And Florida State even proved last year that running the table and winning a major conference championship wasn't good enough to beat a one-loss team on the hype train. And as far as
the schedule that Alabama plays year after year is not comparable to Florida State ever.
Yeah, I know. Florida State doesn't play Western Kentucky. They don't schedule play FCS schools. No way, man. No way. Costi, Alabama's out of conferences like South Florida. Florida State's out of conference. They played LSU last year. Their out of conference was LSU, an SEC team, the same fucking team that Bama, pounds their chest about beating, and they beat Florida. So they beat two SEC teams and they're out of conference, man. You're lost.
They lost their quarterback.
It doesn't matter.
That was their best player.
They still won, man. Teams that lost their quarterback have never won? You're getting nuts, man. You think Ken Dorsey was the start? Do you think?
They extended it to 12.
So we had Ken Dorsey was our starting quarterback, right? Of our great team, right? Of our greatest team of all time.
Not the same. That's not the
he
same.
wasn't the starting quarterback at the beginning of the season, man.
Ken Dorsey is a great coach.
He was only recruited by one school in the whole country.
You had Hall of Famers all around him. It doesn't matter who was quarterback.
Florida State had first-round draft choices across the board. Look how many first-rounders they had last year.
Florida State last year, neutral field. Minus Jordan Travis, what's the line? Texas minus 10?
Texas is terrible, Jay. They're ass. They got slaughtered in the playoffs, man. They're a joke. They're a fucking joke, man. They lost to Oklahoma. They got beat by the shittiest of shitty fraud teams. The shittiest of shitty frauds, man. Dude, when is the last time Oklahoma won a significant game? 2001 against Florida State was the last time they won a significant game. It is. Let's go back. Let's go back at Oklahoma's history over the last 30 years. The last time they won a significant game was 2001 against Florida State. Outside of that, every time they've been placed in these significant games, the same way Texas got placed in the significant game, they got slaughtered, which led us to this program long before you were here. Chris, what was what we always said about Oklahoma? They need to just go away. Go away. Yeah, okay. They need to just go away.
There's been a few things that we've said about Oklahoma, but that's the one that
Yeah, they need to just go away because they're not going to get there.
2003, I was at the Red River Shootout, Texas, Oklahoma, with Sam Bradford, and he played on the Ravens. Really good. It was a great game. That year they were good when they had Sam Bradford. Josh Heupel is what you're talking about.
Yeah. The 2001 team that beat Florida State in the title game when Miami should have gone because they had beaten Florida State that year and finished with the same record and did not have a loss after the Florida State win. but Florida State went to the title game over Miami in that year. Miami lost their opener, won every game after that, including Florida State, and Florida State went to the title game over Miami because of the way that they did the. And after that, they changed the way it was decided. They took out certain polls. They took away margin of victory because Bobby Bowden in the season finale, his son was coaching Clemson. His son was the coach of Clemson. They're up by 35 in the fourth quarter, throwing deep to try and run up the score to pass them in the poll, to pass Miami in the poll. That's what happened. Because Miami didn't run up the score in certain games, and they did. So yeah. Anyways, a bunch of bullshit is what I call it. Anyways, college football, it's the progression. It's gone. We've gone to a 12-team playoff. It's going to be the same shit at the end of the year. We already know that, right? We're already fully prepared that it's going to be like some SEC garbage teams in there, right, over teams that really deserve it. Because the SEC and the Big Ten make the rules. So what we're going to see, like if it's a 3-loss Wisconsin team or a 1-loss Clemson team, it's going to be Wisconsin. If it's a 3-loss, yes, it is, Jay. Yeah, it is. It is. It is the way that it works, man. A 3-loss Ohio State team versus a 1-loss Miami team, it'll be Ohio State in. The same way they put Texas in last year over Florida State. Yes, it is, man.
No.
Yes, it is. It's the way it has always been, and it is the way it will be. I'm telling you. Nothing has changed, man. Then on what premise do you say that won't happen? They did it last year. They just did it. They did it to Baylor and TCU a few years ago with Ohio State. They did it with this. They do it all the frickin' time, man. It is a travesty, man. The way that it's anything that has the human element. Do you think, like when Ruffalo was in the dressage trials for the Olympics, do you think the French judge threw that score up because he loved Americans or Canadians? I mean, I'm not really sure, right? Ruffalo, that's why he didn't make it. That's why he didn't medal. That's why he didn't medal. Because it's subjective, man. He didn't medal.
Still slipped a diuretic in that Russian judge's borscht, too.
Hey. Whoa.
That's what happens, man.
We don't have to go there.
I know. No, I think the only difference this year is that the only difference are the teams that it's going to affect on the totem pole, because it's not going to affect Florida State this year. Instead, it's going to affect Missouri or the team that's around that 12-13 range.
Who would go in? A 2-loss Missouri team or a 2-loss Alabama team?
The thing is we've already had this argument. And I already told y'all, let me just talk. I already told y'all how to figure this out. All you really have to do is just go look at the last 10 seasons and just implement this playoff format. You know what I mean?
And what you'll see is that teams that are deserving, like last year, will get screwed.
No, they would not. They would be in.
Hold on. Okay.
Then why didn't Florida State get in last year?
Because last year it was 4 teams, Mitch. It wasn't 12.
It will stretch out. Believe me, it'll transcend.
And implement it into last season.
It will transcend beyond this number. Trust me, it will. It will.
The only point I will say is if there's 12, we're not going to care as much about 13 through 15 versus right now we caring about 4 through 6.
But I tell you who's going to care, man, is their fan base. They're going to care.
We don't care about their fan base.
Okay, how about this?
It's going to be us. I already know it's going to be us. So it's like we do care.
Oh, it's not all you versus them. It's not.
It always has been us versus them.
It's not the year 2000 anymore.
It's always us versus them, man. It's always us versus them.
It's a lot harder to make the argument of a 2-loss team versus like an undefeated group of 5 because now the group of 5 gets a spot. But say you have a 2-loss Missouri team against, I don't know, what's the weakest of the power conferences, the Big Ten?
Yep.
Who gets in? A 2-loss Missouri team?
Oh no, Big 12. Big 12 is the weak.
Big 12? Okay, so who gets in? A 2-loss Missouri team or an undefeated UCF or a 1-loss UCF?
Undefeated UCF.
Nope.
Yes,
Doubt
that's
it.
what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Undefeated
There's
UCF.
a difference between the question I'm asking. Hold on, let me finish. Hold on, let me finish. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish.
No, because what's going to happen, Chris, what's going to happen is we're going to be at the end of the season, and Jay's going to be justifying why they should be in over that team. That's what he does. We already know. We already know how Jay works on these things, Chris. Then he justifies it.
Hold on, Jay.
Justifies
One at a time. Chris, you say something, Jay. You're gonna go.
Okay, I'm trying to. But
Order.
Hold on. Jay, hold on. You know they win their conference, right? And they got an automatic bid. You know that, right?
Oh my God, I can't even get a point out. The point I'm trying to make is, I'm not saying
the point is off. You can't make a point with a false statement.
The question is not who should get in, because I agree it should be a UCF. The question is who will get in because of the narrative of what the committee has done. That's all I'm saying.
Let me tell you that where you're wrong. It wouldn't even come down to that.
Okay, go ahead.
Went undefeated. They're in automatically because they were the conference champion. Like, what are we talking about? That's all I'm trying to tell you. And y'all trying to tell me I'm wrong when I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, what are we talking about? If UCF went undefeated, Chris, they would be the big technically. They would be the 4 seed. They would be the 4 seed in the playoff.
All right. Well, what if they're a one-loss UCF team that lost the title game of
that's
the
why
Big
I said
12?
one loss.
Right, a one-loss that lost the title game against a 2-loss Missouri team that didn't make it to the title game. So basically, UCF will have played one more game than Missouri played. Missouri will go in over them for sure. And it'll be the same justification that you gave last year when a one-loss Texas team went in over an undefeated team. Well, it's
trying to prove. Y'all are just making blatant statements trying to prove that you're right instead of actually taking the time to go look at how these situations will play out. I've seen it multiple of times. Like I just keep trying to tell y'all, but y'all are going to discredit me. And
I've seen it way more times, Jay. And
no, but you haven't seen this format. You've seen this format 0 times. 0. I've seen simulations of it thousands of times.
Simulations.
Y'all can discredit me.
You lost me at simulations.
Everybody's right. Here's the good news. We have a betting show, and whoever they put against each other, we're going to give our opinion on. How they get there is out of our control, and we're powerless.
When we get there, you know what I mean? You'll see that I was right in the end. But this is as I said from the start of this season. This season is different with the implementation of.
You said that last year, man.
No, but I am really. Last year was different with the introduction of the transfer portal.
It wasn't the first year of the transfer portal last year. It wasn't the introduction. Even more different
with the implementation of now 12 teams getting into the playoffs. So, Mitch,
last year was the first year of Coach Prime at Colorado. That was about it.
It probably won't come into effect no more in this style format. If Miami wins their conference like they're supposed to do, then they're good.
Yes, Eric, we know. Did he say he's stimulated? No, he said simulated. Sorry.
All right. Well, that leads us into this Cubs versus Reds. We got the White Sox, Tigers, and the Phillies and the Nationals. Jay?
I'm
my kicker. He can hit that.
I'll put my camera and just take y'all through a simulation right quick.
Oh,
so
God, no. Please don't.
No, because I think y'all, like, you know what I mean? This is a point in the conversation where y'all are just being old and you're not even trying to.
Let's take a vote. Whoa.
The dismissal completely of what I'm saying is the real right now.
Simulations are not on college football 2024. You are not going to take me to a video game.
You can see Jay's finals hat is actually made of aluminum for the conspiracy theory right now. Like, I'm kidding. I'm
just trying to tell y'all what it is.
I'm just saying, none of it really matters.
The thing, I understand that college football is not my top sport and that you guys are more knowledgeable in certain aspects. But in this one, I know I have more knowledge on it because I've seen it. And you guys have seen it 0 times. And that's all I will say.
Yeah, but how is the video game? How is the video game creating real life situations with how the committee's going to act?
Because Costi, no matter, you can run it 1,000 times. Costi, do you not understand that? You
What
can
does that
run
have to do with the committee?
because you get different. You see how it plays out, is what I'm saying. You guys don't even understand how it plays out and how the different scenarios could come into attack. I could show you. I could literally show you if you want the time. But it's a complete dismissal of
Everybody's right. My care level about who gets in doesn't matter. All I want to do is predictions of the outcomes of me making money, and who makes it in there has no relevance on any future.
I just had to tell them that in this aspect they're wrong. Like in Chris's specific example, that wouldn't happen, and I know that.
Okay, but I corrected myself after I said undefeated.
I said one loss. Play it out. You know what I mean? Thousands of times already. I know it wouldn't happen that way. And really, you could just read the rules and you could see that it wouldn't play out that way. So,
okay.
I don't really care. Honestly, the bowl games were such a turnoff for me last year. They were disgusting. I don't want to touch. They were so bad with the transfer portal. It made me sick. Literally up to the actual semifinals where everybody played. Everybody else was just not playing, transferring. It was such a disaster. I hope they fix that going into bowl games.
The problem is until the transfer portal gets adjusted, they won't.
It's terrible.
My point in calling them old was they're complete.
Yeah, I'm 33. What the hell?
No, I'm for the comment because I was being mean in saying that. But no, I could turn around and say they're being mean for the complete dismissal of what I'm saying, and you know what I mean, and acting like it's crazy. So it's a combination of two worlds. I don't have the history that Mitch has. I don't have that, and you know what I mean. He will beat me in that argument every single time, but I know Mitch is not looking at the same simulations I'm looking at. You know what I mean? And so that's what I have to.
If you could, for Monday's session, bring a whiteboard and start putting stuff on the whiteboard so we could actually see it, visualize it.
Okay.
Because verbally, we're not hearing you. We're talking, but we're not hearing.
There's no need for the white. This is not 1990. There's no need for the whiteboard. I can just show you.
Well, yeah. We don't need the whiteboard because you could actually just type it in the computer now. But I will say, last question. Okay, if it's a 2-loss Missouri team, or they can't have it happen anymore, but in another season, a 1-loss Colorado team, but Shedeur breaks his ankle and he's out for the year.
In this current format, Colorado would probably be in. But I don't think it would come down to that. Like you got to realize there's so many other things. Like what's going to end up happening this season, and there's probably going to be some 3-loss teams that make it, maybe even 1 or 2. Like it's happened multiple times. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just going to depend on who beats up on who. So you got to realize there's 104. How many teams? 143. 33. There's so many different scenarios on how it could all play out, but I've seen it multiple times, and it's not the way that you guys may be thinking that it may go. It's not the old system. It's completely new. It's completely different, and that's all I'm saying. So a lot of the scenarios and the old things, can it happen at the 14-15 range? Yeah, probably, but at the other ones, it probably won't happen. Now, what will probably happen, the thing that will like teams being left out, I don't think we'll have that argument. What we'll have the argument now is seeding. I think we may have arguments in seeding and who plays who when we get to this. But the other one y'all were arguing, I doubt it.
I don't really care about any of it. I'm just here for the.
I already know it's. I mean, we saw it last year, and we'll see it time and time again. College football is the old boy network, and when you see these things decided in these committees, and you even see it in the college basketball tournament and the teams that get screwed and the same thing, it is all the same way. It's always done the same way. That it's always a ridiculous statement, and then it always comes down to the same Forrest Gregg reasoning of why he kicked the extra point, for Alabama against Florida in the SEC title game when it put them on a number where they still needed 2 scores to catch them, as opposed if they would have went for 2, it would have been a 1-score situation. And his answer to that was, anyone know? I made that decision because it was my decision to make. And that's exactly what the way these guys justify it, man. I've heard it a million times. I've heard that exact same explanation. I made that decision because it was my decision to make. And this is the other one. Does that mean that not everybody plays by the same set of rules? The answer to that one is, I guess it does. These are the answers that these people give. It is the answers that they give. These aren't made up things. These are the answers that these people give. Anyways, Cubs, Reds, Tigers, White Sox, Phillies, Nationals.
Is it me?
Yeah.
I'll go. Give me Cincinnati here. I love fading Taillon. Day baseball. I know the Cincinnati Reds have stacked L's and they've now lost 3 straight, but they've beaten up on the Cubs all season as they lead the season series 7-3. If there was a bounce back spot for them, it's here. I know the show's not a huge Nick Martinez fan, but I like the way he's pitched over his last 4 games. And I think it's not crazy to expect him to come and pitch the same way. So it's a combination of things. I'm getting Cincinnati at plus money. I'm fading Taillon. I'm getting the Reds against the Cubs, who have been, who have faced them well all season. Give me the Reds in this one. I'll attack the plus money. And that's really it. I would lean probably Phillies run line, but I'm not necessarily in love with it.
Chris?
Yeah. Counselor. I'm going to take the Tigers here. I know the White Sox just swept the Angels, but the Tigers still have the world to play for here. They haven't been great against lefties, so I think Garrett Crochet is going to have a strong start. But I think in the end, I think the Tigers get to the White Sox bullpen, get the win, potentially get the win on the run line here. Give me the Tigers to potentially clinch a playoff spot. Never words I thought I'd put together, just a month and a half ago, but here we are. So
you're so profound.
Give me the Tigers. Give me the. I lean towards the Nationals plus 1.5. I like what I've seen from Trevor Williams. Maybe you just take like the under in the first 5, but I think that the Nationals can compete early on here. Williams gives them a solid chance, so give me the Nationals plus 1.5, and the Cubs Reds. I'll take the over. I know the wind's blowing in, but I'll still take the over.
Costi.
Very spotty play for me in MLB right now. I haven't played all week, especially now where basically everything's locked up. I mean, unless the Tigers lose 3 in a row and the Twins win 3 in a row, then we have any sort of maybe switching there. But I don't see anything happening here. It's so hard to take teams, especially when they're trying to get ready for the playoffs. Limited outings for starters. They're going to get them out there, but they're not going to burn them out. It's just too inconsistent for betting purposes. So I'm going to do something that, because I'm not betting the games, I'm taking all dogs today. Blanket across the board. Dog, 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 dog. That way, even if you go 500, you're still cashing. It's just too inconsistent to do it any other way. For me.
Okay.
Isn't that exciting? You have my pick.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, the reasoning, but that's okay.
What's the argument for the other way?
The argument for the other way is that you have several teams that are playing in significant games here, and like the Yankees, right? Like this is a significant game for them. They've clinched the American League East, but they're in a battle with the Cleveland Guardians for the best record in the American League, which would give them home field advantage, which the Yankees actually do have a decided home field advantage if you can have to play those games in the Bronx. It's a shitty place for road teams in the postseason. Historically, they got a lot of hardware that shows that Yankee Stadium is a very, very tough building to play in October for visiting teams. They have also... they're battling it out with the Phillies and the Dodgers. They're still in position for the overall best record in baseball, which would grant them home field advantage in the World Series. Another situation that's proved out. I mean, you look at their record in World Series that they've had home field advantage. Pretty good numbers for this franchise, from inception. Of course, like anything else, past performance is no guarantee of future performance, but at the same time, kind of think that it could matter. But let's just say, would you rather be in Yankee Stadium for Game 7 of the World Series, or would you rather be in Chavez Ravine?
Not Yankee Stadium.
I'm just saying there's a lot of these out there still.
I get it, and that's why there's a line on the game and people are betting it. But from a sharp standpoint that I've actively do this year-round, this time of the year, this last week, I just rather wait, get to the postseason, and then start actually giving out the plays, especially with my groups that I deal with. They just haven't touched a single game all week in the MLB. So,
but I'm sure they've touched themselves several times across.
They have touched themselves at least 5 times, but that's okay.
Just checking. Not funny, Chris. The true story.
I wasn't expecting.
I mean,
that.
Here's the thing. In the NFL, we released 8 games, and I have clients sitting on their hands when there's no football throughout this week, and they're just not betting. And it's really hard because I nonstop. Are you sure? I get the "Are you sures?" Like, are you sure?
It's a little weird. Like, so, like, if they're out to dinner and stuff, they're sitting on their hands. Like, how do they eat like this? Is this what's going on there?
I just say, sit on your hands.
You had one assignment today, and that was to talk to Eric about the next Vegas trip.
I have a client.
That was it.
He goes, "What do you mean all dogs?" When I already told him I'm not betting MLB. What do you? I said no. No.
Little known fact. That's actually how I was going to attack the butter cake at Barry's before they brought out the fork, and I realized I could actually. And they're like, "No, sir, you can eat this like a civilized human."
What if Al just took his fork and just got the first bite out of the burger cake? Would that, is that fighting terms for you, or what's that like? You do that and you throw a haymaker? Because Al was staring at me the entire time.
If there's a fork that's not mine within a 6-foot vicinity of my plate, that's making an advance towards my plate. If you were 2 seats over and you see something, you're like, "Oh, that looks good," and you reach over, there's a fork going through your hand and pinning it to the table.
Did Al finish that?
Potentially a steak knife if they haven't come and cleaned up the cutlery.
Did Big Al finish that lobster tail? It was like a 6-pound lobster tail. I've never seen anything.
I think he did. It's just like his database. There's a lot of room for storage in there. It's like
a lot of hate. A lot of hate in the comments. All right.
Aubrey really missed that kick last night. Like, that really happened. Like,
you were the first person I thought of when that happened. I don't know if you were just if you were pissed off that he missed it, but it was they still were going to probably win the game, and it was and I was so trying not to respond to the GOAT Aubrey post that you had half an hour earlier.
Yeah, they killing me.
Just didn't age well.
They killing me on them.
I didn't get a chance to comment on what you guys were saying in the beginning, but when you're saying that missed kick has a little bit of foo-foo, you just don't know, is it? You're talking about the closing line. What about the people that bet it early in the week and got 4.5? Because it was out there 2-3 days. So are you saying that it attacked the closing line people? Is it attacking where the big money goes? That's where I kind of draw the line. I don't even know the answer. I'm just saying, if you think there's something going on, is it just based for the closing line people that are betting at the day of?
I feel like 75% of NFL bets are bet the day of the game.
I agree.
So 75% of people had 5.5. So 75% of the people were upset about. You know what I mean? Now the people that that got it early, shout out to them. We don't care about y'all right now. We care about how the NFL screwed us over.
I mean, look, I didn't have a play. I don't like 4.5. 4.5 is a horrible number in the NFL.
Oh man.
So I had no action on the actual game itself, but it did look I mean, again, you're coming from a guy that's kicking 66-yard, 67-yard field goals like it's nothing, and then he misses a chip shot.
It was just for me, and I'm done. It was just the whole way it played out, like from the announcer announcing what the hell was going on. Like
he did do that. Yeah, I heard that.
He did that.
I've never listened to the game with sound.
Yes, Mitch. That's what made it even worse. So as he's trotting out on the field, the announcer goes, "This is a very important kick for a lot of people out there. I know some really want him to make it, and a lot of them want him to miss it. Yada yada, whatever the fuck he said." From that moment, my stomach got in knots. Then I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm let it go. It happened. Oh well. What we got next?
I'm still up. I never got to give my picks in this slot.
My bad.
You guys just went on and on and on and on talking over me. Never let me speak. Talking over. Fuck Mitch. I'm gonna watch this show to fade his ass.
Oh man.
Taking the Reds. It's Tyone. It's Friday.
Automatic.
I love those Friday games when I lived in Chicago. Like I would have been at that game if I lived in Chicago still. I love those. I like the White Sox with Crochet over the Tigers. I could see a Tiger meltdown here down the stretch. They got lucky yesterday against the Rays with the comeback win. We got way lucky. And I'll go with the Nationals against the Phillies, even though the Phillies do have a ton to play for in this one. I'm not a big Suarez guy. Everybody knows that. I've been very public about it since day one this season. And Williams has kind of found himself, man. This is his career year, even though he got injured. Got the Yankees and the Pirates. The Yankees are the American League East champions, now playing for the best overall record in the American League.
Ooh, yeah, Yankees.
They don't want to go to Cleveland. They want to go to New York.
You don't live in Cleveland.
We got the Blue Jays against the Marlins. The Marlins, man, that game went on all frickin' night, man. 13 innings. They blew the lead.
I was thinking about you the whole time.
I had the Marlins, man, at plus 205. I was clinching on Costy's sharp team. Was tucked in and sleeping by that time, but I was sweating it out, cashing tickets.
What time was this?
All night. The game went all night. 13 innings. Yeah, just finished. 13 innings. Everything happened in that game. Everything happened. Guys on with nobody out. Guys not on with nobody out. The guy bunts the ball, pops it up in the air, and they turn the double play. I mean, that is like so Twins this season, right? I mean, he pops out to the catcher, and the catcher throws it to first for the double play. Oh, yeah, plus 205. Ka-ching. As I try and set it down for the regular season baseball title here at Pick Dogs. Got the Blue Jays, the Barrios, up against Aller. All for Aller. Stand up and holler. And then, if you're going to Fenway Park tonight, pack a snack and be prepared to be there for a while. Got Nick Pivetta up against Taj Bradley. Which way is the wind blowing in that thing. Chris?
Yeah, bring a lunch, but if
it's blown out to the monster. Oh my god.
Oh god. Oh boy. Yeah, bring a lunch, but if I had to pick a side in this thing too, I'm going to take the Red Sox. I think Taj Bradley's more likely to get hit. I think Pavetta's the pitcher that'll give up 2 or 3 home runs, but they'll be like solo home runs, where Bradley's will just be like more damage. So
if you gave the sexy pick there, no one would hate on you for it.
Now I'm going to take the Red Sox. I'm going to take the over too, though. It's like a half sexy pick.
Same game parlay. SGP.
SGP. Yeah. You know me. Yeah, I'm going to take the Blue Jays as well. Take them on the front line. Barrios is pitching well, and I think this could be a spot where they finally get him some run support against Aller, who's not been good on the road this season. So Blue Jays run line and Pirates Yankees. So the Yankees are still fighting with the Guardians for home field throughout the
home court advantage.
So I'll lean towards the Yankees, their run line as well. Jared Jones has been inconsistent since coming back from the IL. And I think the Yankees get to him. So the Yankees run
the Yankees.
Ooh, yeah. Take it.
Costi?
I thought you didn't have to ask me. Here we go. Pirates. This one's really tough. Miami. Taj Bradley. Tampa Bay. You only get one of these a year out of me. This is just once a year.
Like well, I think there are
dog. That's it.
Well, but I think there are games where that could work, where it's just like there's nothing for teams to play for unless there's like a huge mismatch. But it's like there are certain spots on here where there are teams that have like the world to play for.
I don't really care what you guys think. How about that?
Wow. Just trying to have a intellectual debate with you, but clearly.
No, Chris, me and you are always on the same side. That's where we're on the bottom tier. The top tier gets a little aggressive. The bottom tier, pretty mellow. Look, I went to therapy this morning. I called Mitch before therapy. Like I'm feeling like just like woosah.
Okay.
That sounds like you have to go to the bathroom.
I think you need to have more fiber for that.
I think you might have to go spend some time to sit and think.
Bring the college football magazine with you while you're at it.
You don't want to do that here, Costi.
Look at these polls.
You don't want to do that here, Costi.
Wait a minute, Costi. Did anything sprouted start your Husa?
I like how everybody's in the comments going, terrible info. I already told you I'm not betting in any of the MLB games today. What do you want from me?
Then why are you here?
Just here for a good time. One day a year you get this out of me.
That's what she said.
Who's up, me?
Oh, yeah.
I'll take the Yankees on the run line as well against the Pirates. I just don't see much going on there. I like the Jays against the Marlins. I think the Marlins bullpen has got to be taxed after last night's 13-inning game. I do like the way they showed the intestinal fortitude to continue to battle in that game, even after blowing a 4-run lead. And then, bring a glove to Fenway Day. Pavetta against Taj Bradley. This is going to be just a very, very long day at Fenway. I've been at some of those very long games at Fenway. This is going to be one of those. And let's just say, not the most comfortable seating in baseball. Jake?
Yeah, slap between a lot of teams that are cooked. Just playing out the string. That's what I'll do. I'll lean towards the Blue Jays run line. I haven't really bet the Blue Jays many a times this season because earlier this season they were just terrible and they cooked me. Finishing the season with a losing record with all this talent they had on this team is kind of crazy. But they close out their season against the Marlins. This should be a dub for them. They probably beat up on them. And like Mitch said, Marlins coming off that tough game last night. Now having to travel from Minnesota to Toronto, it just doesn't seem like a great spot for the Marlins. Give me the Blue Jays run line and the Yankees. The Pirates. It's more a play on the Yankees than a fade of the Pirates. I like Jared Jones. I think he has a bright future. His last game, he did get touched up by the Reds on the road, and now he's on the road here against the Yankees, who Mitch told you guys earlier still got something to play for a little bit, battling with the Guardians. So no reason for me to fade the Yankees quite yet. Y'all know I will be fading them boys postseason, but for right now, I guess I'll join the train. Ooh, yeah.
Astros, Guardians, Braves, Royals, Twinkies, Orioles. Costi?
All right. We have, we're going to go with Ronel Blanco and the Houston Astros.
Stickiest stuff I've ever seen.
We're going to take a shot here with the Kansas City Royals and close it out with the Baltimore Orioles.
The stickiest stuff these eyes have ever seen.
The stickiest stuff I've ever seen.
That's how I'm picking these games, these baseball games.
Is this the last? Oh, no, we might see him.
What'd you say, Cleveland Astros?
Is that the last time of the season? But we're going to see him again.
I love Cleveland in that game against the Astros. They have a lot to play for in this one. Quintillo's been just off the chain, man. And I think that Blanco has been very, very good also, outside of, having the stickiest stuff we've ever seen. He has also done a lot of other things this season, but this Guardians bullpen is just ridiculous, man. This is a team that's batting like 214 as a team and is going to have the best record of the American League. Why? The bullpen, almost Blutarsky-ish. 0.89 ERA over the last 10 games. I mean, it's like, so you have it's probably going to go to the bullpen this game with two pitchers with 1 and change ERAs over the last 3 games, right? So it's it's probably going to go to the pen. You got to figure the Guardians have a gigantic advantage there. I'm taking the Guardians. Oh, yeah, I'm taking the Guardians. Al McMorty hates that nickname, Guardians. Hates it. He hates Guardians and Commanders, likes Eskimos. I like the Braves against the Royals. I think they stay relevant all the way down to the end here, and I think that the Twins win and the Royals lose to keep a little bit of something alive for tomorrow. I like Lopez. The Twins bullpen went through the ringer last night against the Marlins, and they did not end up on the right side of things either, which made it worse. But somebody put the keyboard on silent, please. Mine's really quiet, my keyboard.
I have a silent keyboard.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the Twinkies in that one against the Orioles. I like them pretty big too. Povich is a joke, and I love fading the Orioles when Costi's on. It's just something I do. It's part of who I am, and it's something that makes this show special. Chris or Jay?
Damn, Mitch, I almost forgot about that angle, to fade the O's when Costa's here angle. It's as good as any angle we got.
I think it's been undefeated all year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's as good as any angle we got.
But basically, when I come on, I should fade myself. Got it. I'll know for next year.
If you're still here. People come and go on this morning show. Ask Ruffalo. This is his second time around.
Yeah.
What do I do with the purple? What am I going to do with it if I can't use it on the show?
Well, you go to the drive-through. That's where all washed up morning show people go.
That's Misfit Island.
We would use it on the drive-through, but we all got fired from the drive-through. There's a new format. Cool.
Is it?
Yeah, you guys aren't on the show anymore. It's like what?
I was going to say, is it possible that I'm like the only guy that's like, you know how some coaches have won like World Series in like the AL and the NL? Have I been fired from both the morning show and the drive-through? I'm like the only one.
I've been fired from every show because I was fired from my own company.
I'm in like
that's like the rarefied air. Like,
okay, fine, but am I in like elite company where I've been fired from both?
I think so. Well, yeah, because Wacky's still rolling. Except, yeah, I think you are.
Nice.
Yeah. And sure. And
going
sure.
on my LinkedIn.
And sure.
No, we're talking relevant.
She don't like Drake, I'll tell you that much.
Don't worry, Chris. I might join you soon.
Oh God, that sounded really ominous. I didn't like that.
I'm kidding.
I got fired from the drive-through.
There's truth to every joke.
Hey, I pay for the day.
I was fired from the drive-thru, so I pay from this show.
Yeah, but I pay for the show. You think Tony T sits there for free? I mean, seriously, he's on the payroll. He fired me. It's like, what the hell's going on here, man? What's wrong with this picture? It's like
my favorite is Mitch. Do you think Tony T sits there for the good of his health?
It's like Tony. I just want to make sure that you got your paycheck this month. Yeah, I did. You're fired from the drive-in. It's like Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know we changed the format of the show. Cool. What's going on with it? Well, first of all, you're not on it anymore. It's like we've had, the drive-thru's gone through a lot of changes over the years. It has. Started off, we had Joe D'Amico with Dana Lane and Tony was the original drive-thru. Then we had Chris Ruffalo with Tony
and Joe.
And Joe? You were with Joe too?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That must be.
Those are that was when the drive-thru would go to like 7:15.
Tony had to put a halt to it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Joe succumbed to the Capra flu, and then it went down to just me and Tony. I think that was
Joe quit. Joe quit, man. He quit.
I know.
He left.
Just trying to not.
He didn't get the Capra flu. He left.
I know. I was just kidding.
He went off to greener pastures of Sports Memo.
Hashtag $2 Tuesday.
I don't even think they do that anymore.
Oh no, I think they got sick of it.
I mean, I think they raised the price to $3.50. It's like 85% price increase.
Stickiest stuff these eyes have ever seen.
The stickiest stuff these eyes have ever seen. Who's up? Is it Chris?
Me?
Or is it you, Jay? Did you go? I don't know.
I don't think I went. Give me this is just a pure hater slot. Fading the Astros just because I'm a hater. Fading the Braves just because I'm a hater. And I'm fading the Twins just because I'm a hater. So it's a fairly easy slot. If you would like me to break it down, I can. Guardians still got something to play for. The Astros, they locked in. The Braves, they missing the playoffs. Royals ain't got no real room for error, so they need to get their shit together. And the Twins, they're cooked. And the problem with that Twins game is Costy's here, so I want to, that's oof. But still, Costy, I'm gonna join you. I'm gonna take the O's today. We'll see.
Let me tell you something.
Maybe today's the streak buster.
Does it look like I'm wearing an Orioles shirt today? You know what Sunday night is? I know it's not Sunday yet. I don't want to jump ahead of time, but we're having a blackout. When we have a blackout, watch out. You want a good tip of the weekend? You don't want to play the Ravens when we're in a blackout. See this? Black, 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 blackout. Not purple.
Why is it when I hear Costy say black, I just think of boring for some reason? Black.
Fuck Josh Allen. How about that?
How about that? This shirt is not black.
Blackout.
Whatever.
Fuck the Bills. Bills are going to get slaughtered. Easiest money on the board. At 2. I don't know if we got the 3 yet, but we got the Ravens at 2. We already bet them.
I'll go with the. I'm gonna go with the Braves on the run line here. I'm going to talk about no margin for error. There is literally no margin for error for the Braves. They have to keep winning if they're going to make that doubleheader against the Mets on Monday mean anything.
Chris, cooked.
Mets cooked. Got it. Like the reality is, both those teams have to win this entire weekend. So normally I don't just blindly back teams just because they have to win, but I think this is one where and it's just a bad spot for the Royals. The Royals in the last 2 weeks against lefties have been terrible. They're hitting like 130. They're going against Max Fried here. The Braves have improved their play against righties. They're against Singer, who's given up 11 runs in his last 2 starts. So I think the Braves get the win here. Twins, Orioles, I'm taking the Twins. Pablo Lopez has been a lot easier to trust than Cade Povich. Povich has been getting roughed up. And the Twins are, like Jay said, no margin for error there either. Especially if they can make up a game on the Royals, who are going to be a tough series this entire weekend. I'll take the Twins there. Guardians, Astros, I lean towards the Guardians because I think we're starting to see the Astros are just resting guys and preparing for the postseason. But
how do you prepare for the postseason?
How do I prepare?
Yeah, like what do you do for the postseason? Like, do you get like all your old recipes together? Maybe like like, we know you like the honey garlic wings, right? That's the direction that.
No, actually, I don't. I'm not a big honey garlic fan.
No, which way? Which
honey garlic? I've never had that, but that actually sounds pretty good.
I thought that's what you get.
You never had honey garlic?
No.
Yeah, it's good.
Honey Ranch is my favorite, though. Honey Ranch is.
There's the
honey garlic. Honey garlic.
You guys have Wingstop?
Yeah. We went through this already.
The 24K.
We went through Wingstop in Vegas. You missed it.
Yeah, it was atrocious.
You missed it. We had this discussion at Wazuzu. You know, the meal you missed.
I wasn't at Wazuzu.
Exactly.
I wasn't there yet.
Which means you're foolish. You know nothing about anything. Nobody misses Wazuzu.
Listen, your Spago recommendation was a very expensive lunch, and I didn't pay for lunch.
Well, Ruffalo,
I blame you.
Ruffalo came on board for Wazuzu, and he went for the, what was it? Some kind of fried rice. It was short rib fried rice.
Oh, yeah, the short rib.
I told them to get the Wagyu beef fried rice, but they didn't do it. Him and Brandon, and then
they didn't have it.
And then the waiter, when they come around and says, "How is everything?" They ordered again. These guys, they went back in. They went back in, Costi. It's like, like when they come around, they're like, "Hey, how is everything? Can I get him another soda, whatever?" He's like, he's got the menu. Grupo's got the menu open.
Was that pancake not one of the best things you had that entire meal?
I didn't say it wasn't.
You're just looking at me saying the audacity of these people.
I was just like, wait a minute, he's ordering again. It's a $700 lunch already. It's like there's only 4 people here. It's like where no one's drinking. I love that place. Spectacular. What are you going to do? What are we doing next? We got so off track, man, so easily. That's why we have a thumbs down. That's why we got a thumbs down. We got the Brewers and the Metropolitans, the Dodgers and the Rockies, and the Rangers and the Angels. The Rangers couldn't hold it together yesterday. They had it.
Man, Mitch, everybody, they mama, uncle, and auntie knew, but you, that the A's was winning that game yesterday.
I wouldn't. I would have thought. I thought it was the squarest play on the board.
I know. Sometimes it's a square place to play. Sometimes it is. Even I faded the Rangers yesterday.
Look at Rod in the comments bragging about how he's not fired from the drive-thru. No, the rest of us are. He's taunting us. Remember when you guys used to be allowed on the drive-thru?
Yeah. One accolade, I think I'll gladly let him have. I want to be the one to be fired from 2 shows. I want that. I want that versatility on my resume.
Who's up here? Me?
Yep.
Or is it Mitch?
No, go ahead.
Me?
Yep.
The Angels are ass. Rangers bounce back. They probably close the season off on a high note. Who we got on that mound today? Y'all know who on that mound today. Him. The best pitcher in baseball. Jacob deGrom. Probably only going to pitch like 3 innings. But give me the Rangers today. The Angels are ass. Give me the Mets, though. Y'all know that's where I'm at. Sean Manaea. Sean, Mr. Get It Done. Sean, put money in my pocket. Sean, whatever you want to call him. The real Sugar Sean. You know what I mean? Like, quit playing with Sean Manaea. I love me some Sean Manaea, man. How many games in a row has he won? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 and 2 are the Mets in his last 17. Like, come on, man. Welcome to the Sugar Show. I'm taking Sean, not O'Malley, but Sean Manaea. And the Mets fading Frankie Montas. And Dodgers, Rockies. Man, you ever be sitting there and you're just cooked, like your feelings hurt, and you just lost a bet, so you say, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna chase.
I've never done that before.
I've done it as well.
I've done it a couple times.
Well,
I did it yesterday.
I did it last night, and I paid the piper because, man, I don't know what got into them Dodgers in that 7th inning. Oh, shit. But the Padres. I liked the Dodgers yesterday, but for some reason, I don't know. I went and tried to live bet the Padres to pour it on, and they didn't do that at all. The thing is the Dodgers, we've seen good teams go into the Rockies and die all season. The Dodgers have fake kind of played well in the Rockies this season. That's what makes it tough. But I'm gonna play the Rockies the entire series. Is what I'm gonna do. Wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers kind of just took the series off and lost 1 or 2 to the Rockies to close out the season before the playoffs. It wouldn't. Are the Dodgers playing for anything crazy? Like they're locked in?
Yeah, they're them and the Phillies. battling it out for best record and all overall.
Oh, shit. So they need to sweep the Rockies. Who the Phillies got again? Hold on, let me just double
Nationals.
Check. So they both playing ass teams. Damn. I take all that back, man. I take it back. I want to take the Rockies. Deep down, I want to take the Rockies, but if the Dodgers have something to play for, they probably kick the crap out of them. So no play. They looked mad yesterday late in that game. So
Eric Henry's insane.
Ohtani came up. Then Mookie came up.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Mets here. I just think this is a spot just where I want to be on Manaea. Talked about the same thing with the Braves. Both those teams need to keep winning to, for the Mets to hold off the Braves to try to catch the Mets. And I think this is a great spot for the Mets. You're getting a great price with Manaea, who, like Jay said, has been on fire, 15-2 team record. Last 17 starts, but I'm just not a Frankie Montas fan. I keep saying it. The Brewers picking him up at the deadline made no sense to me. He's not pitching well this year. Hasn't really pitched well in any single spot. So give me the Mets. Give me the over in Dodgers Rockies. Quantrill in his career, an ERA just under 9 against the Dodgers. But I think the Rockies can string together some offense at home. And Rangers, Angels, I'll take the Rangers. For me, it says a lot that, just says everything about the Angels getting swept by the White Sox. DeGrom's been decent. I know they're not going to push him too hard, but limited action from DeGrom. I think he can be good enough to help the Rangers get on the right path for a win here. So,
baseball historian, we got a team that won the World Series, was complete shit the year after, and then the year after they came back and was dominant and won it again. Ever happened?
Yeah, it's called the Giants.
For real?
Yeah, Mitch knows. Every other year they make it to the
yeah,
World
they were like at the start of the 2010s, they were like odd, like even years you would bank on the Giants to win the World Series. Odd years would be.
I'm placing it right now. Rangers World Series. Guess who that coach was at the time too? Right, it was my guy, Bochy. So Rangers World Series next year. We're getting back on track. Let's do it.
I mean, it's not a crazy take.
Yeah, I like it.
Hope.
Mets for me and Manaea. Colorado at home plus money. Give me the Angels with lack of maybe 2-3 innings for DeGrom. The bullpen comes in. We know their bullpen absolutely stinks. Rather have the plus money, as always, on this Plus Money Friday.
Okay, y'all just fake talk me on to my Rangers World Series next year.
What about you still had to we had to fake talk you onto it?
Yeah, fake talk me on.
Persuaded
you. Mitch, you on the wagon with me? Rangers 2025.
I like the Rangers as one of my teams for next year. I got a few teams for next year, actually. The Rangers are one of them. The Pirates are one of them as well. Circle. Giants are one of them, too.
I got to circle them.
Teams that had the big injuries this year. We fading the Orioles' ass on a regular basis. Fade their ass. I told Eric Pathy the good news, right?
I haven't told him yet.
The Pathy plan to financial freedom.
We don't have room for him. We don't have room for him on the next Vegas trip. We're stopped out at 17. We could expand to 21, but those spots are already taken.
Oh man, now he's probably watching. He's going to be really upset.
He tried to sell my wife a $40,000 watch. Gosty. The guy don't even work in the store.
He works in the store. Maybe we should switch it. Romanelli doesn't work for Vegas. Eric does.
Eric works at the Bonanza gift shop at the back of the strip.
None of you guys did me any favors. I'll tell you that much.
There's not much you can do there in that situation.
Oh, you talking to? I got hit the same way.
Yeah, but you're the one wearing the purse. That's the difference.
First of all, it's a Merce, and then she's
He
got.
doubled up. Costi doubled up. So.
You guys all, you want to eat? Got it right here.
Can't see it. There it is.
We're all standing out. Yeah.
Looks like a fanny pack to me. Anyways, I'll call it a
bag.
fanny pack. I'll call it a fanny pack. I'll call it a fanny pack.
You call it whatever you want.
I did. I called it a fanny pack.
Bum bag.
Yeah, I'm on the move a lot.
What's in the Merce? Dude wipes.
Nah, there's no. Let's see.
Light. Dude
Powder
wipes
pop,
always one.
We have
Certs.
wallet,
Spearmint.
The Rolaids.
Burberry wallet that I bought in Vegas. Lindsay actually bought it for me. And we have keys, a sleeve of Nicorette 2 milligram fruit chill.
Also Vegas.
And that's it. A little light today.
And some dude wipes.
some Banaka.
Usually I have a cigar cutter, just in case. Lighter, just in case.
Costi's he's a freelance moil. That's why he carries the cigar cutter. It's my side gig as a freelance moil.
Hey, everybody hates until they get one and they realize, man, it is way easier to travel, period, when you don't have to put a lot of crap in your pockets.
Cigar cutter?
Yeah, you don't want to put that in your pockets.
All right.
Next slot.
Next slot. Padres and the Diamondbacks, the A's and the Mariners, and the Giants and the Cardinals. Wrapping up our last full day of Major League Baseball on the morning show until next April.
Damn. I gotta be honest.
Talk about some of those trash ass teams.
I'm not that sad to see it go because y'all know
it's a long haul. I mean,
what's happening at the end of October?
It's not. It's,
a lot of other sites tap out. In baseball, like when football
Something starts at the end of October.
I'm just being 1,000 with y'all. I'm not that sad
Basketball?
to see it go. But the reason I'm not that
NBA
sad to see
soon.
it go is because y'all know it will become the feature on this show here soon.
Yeah, but you don't. The thing is with hoops is that with college hoops you get a ton of games. So with NBA, it's only a limited amount every day. I mean, there's a couple days where like everybody plays, but there's not too many of those. But like Friday nights are really big in the NBA.
Yeah.
Sundays are big.
I love my 6 games.
Where's the jam session? Can't wait for that. Where's the jam session?
That should be the new intro, man. It should be like, where's the jam session?
Like the scary. I like that scary music. Yeah. Where's the jam session?
Drum space back into jam session.
God, can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Favorite teams are coming back. The Thunder Buddies. You could say that out loud again.
Less than a month.
The House of Disappointment. Say that again.
50-50 Hawks.
Fuck the Clippers. You could say that again. Jason Tatum hate. Top left corner. Our fearless leader. Jason. I don't know. Maybe after last year. Do you think Mitch, do you still hate Jason Tatum?
Yeah, I do.
You said that so.
Yeah, too.
Oh man.
It's my favorite highlight of the summer was when they played the game of the Olympics and he didn't get any time at all on the floor. That was the best. It was an accident.
He's going to use that as motivation.
Or
take the Chargers.
All right, we got the Diamondbacks and the Padres, the Mariners and the A's, the Cardinals and the Giants, wrapping up our regular season baseball coverage here for 2024. Chris, since you started it all, you can start the finish of it all. We already know Costy's got all the dogs.
Okay, so I'll take the Giants here. I trust the Giants. I like what Roop he's done in a small sample size. I'm not a Miles Michaelis fan. Haven't been this entire season. I won't be now. So give me the Giants in that one. Mariners A's. I'm going to take the Mariners. I think this is if there's a letdown spot for like a 60-win team, I think it's this one for the A's. I mean, the Mariners, they don't have anything to play for. They're eliminated now, but the A's just spent so much yesterday with that win in the final game in Oakland, and now they got to take on Seattle. I think Seattle takes out some frustration on the A's here. And Diamondbacks, Padres. I'm trying to remember the pitching matchup for this game.
The Diamondbacks not locked in yet, huh?
No. I think
that's theoretically they could lose out and the Braves and the Mets both get in.
Yep.
They could get in, yeah.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna take the under in Diamondbacks, Padres, Darvish and Kelly, solid pitching matchup. Lean towards Arizona, but I think the under is probably the stronger play for me there.
How many does Los Serpientes need to clinch? One?
Well, it depends.
Let me see.
They're one back. So I think if Arizona wins and Braves lose, I mean, I didn't run that scenario, but
Interesting. I think they just need one because the Mets and the Braves play each other. I think is how it's gonna shape out. I think they just need one. I think.
Well, just like mathematically, right? Like if just say the Braves were to run the table, they'd be at 91 and 71 if they were to win their last 5 games. So Diamondbacks still have to keep going here because
yeah, in that scenario, the Mets would clearly be out because they were lost back to back. So
yeah. But I'm just saying the Diamondbacks still need to win so that they can control their own fate. Because right now,
I know. I think the magic number for Los Serpientes is 1, though. I think the magic number is 1.
I'm trying to actually maybe it's on MLB would tell you the magic number.
I'll tell you what the magic number is.
I'm just because I was trying to figure it out myself and I couldn't.
We figured as much.
Wow.
Or is it 2? I don't know. Baseball tiebreakers hurt my head. NBA, NFL tiebreakers, I'm on them shits. But baseball shit hurt my head. Yeah, so what you got here, Costi? All the dogs? You already told us, I forgot.
Padres. Sears is open on Friday. Mikolas, who's ass. We're going to stick to our game plan here. All dogs.
You're stupid man. All right.
So they need 3. Y'all saying they need 3 to they need all 3? No.
Taking the Giants. Roop, there it is.
I think that's such a good bet.
Yep. We're going to close it out with a new bit. Save it for next year. Ruflo, mark that one down in your book.
Let me look it up.
We'll do it right now.
Jay missed it. Just went right past me. Roop, there it is. Roop, there it is. Roop, there it is. Roop, there it is. Sears open for business. And I'll take San Diego. Merrill Kelly's I'm just very disappointed in him. I can't express my disappointment for him. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. That's it. Jay?
Oh, well, the thing is everybody, and technically the magic number for all 3 teams is for them to win out. So that's the thing. So that's why it's still kind of wonky. But none of that's going to happen because the Braves and the Mets play each other. That's why it's wonky. I'm on the Diamondbacks, bro. With the Padres. What's up with the Padres? Hold on. Padres are clinched. Yeah, they're in. And they're the wild card. So, yeah, the Padres, they're done. And they look done, 7th inning on yesterday. They look done. Come on, Diamondbacks. I am the one that got the Diamondbacks winning the World Series. I forgot what my ticket is. I would have to go, look for it. But y'all can't not make the playoffs, and I got to try to win the World Series, Diamondbacks. Lock in before I tweak out. Give me Los Serpientes today. Sears is closed. It's burnt down. It's forever. It's forever closed, bro. Lost the last game in the Coliseum, bro. I bet that game big too. I just knew he was going to go off.
I just knew he was going to win.
The Mets, not the Mets. The Mariners, they're cooked. Their season's over with. But
I told you guys they were going to win.
But I would lean Mariners in this baseball game. I'm not signing myself up for the Sears experience. And I kind of subscribe a little bit to what Roof is saying. If there was a spot where a 60-win team, had a flat spot after a win, it'd probably be today. So
I told everyone.
I probably ain't take the Mariners run line all season, but I would lean in that direction today. And Giants, Cardinals, pass.
All right. That wraps up Major League Baseball for this season for us on this show, except for, of course, the postseason. We'll all be here for. Next up.
College football. It's my favorite time of the week. It's my favorite day. Or my favorite time of the year.
No, that's
college
Saturday.
football Saturday.
That's Saturday. Got ACC action and Big Ten action. Miami, Virginia Tech, Rutgers, Washington. Costi, do you have an opinion on this, or are you going to just take?
I do. This now I'm dialed in, and I did just bet every one of those baseball games as a dog just to prove a point.
So you got the Cardinals against the Giants. I would have booked your action on that one.
Let me explain something to you. Let me say it one more time. I have every dog in baseball.
I would have booked your action on that Diamondbacks game. You know what I mean?
You guys want to single out certain games. I'm talking about the board.
Yeah, you're still betting those on the board.
There's nothing. There's not giving it out. There's no syndicate action here. This is just a blanket statement. How I'm going to be in the plus money.
Don't tell me about blanket statements. Kidding?
You want to
live on the blanket statement?
Thing? Let's go.
Haven't you ever seen our Slack? Our
company Slack. About a pick on this game, and now you guys are not allowing me to give the pick out.
You don't even know what a blanket statement. Let's go get Pathy on here, and we'll talk about what a blanket.
I don't know where he is. He's probably really upset because he's not invited to Vegas. That's why he's probably not even going to come in today.
He's out biking.
Dude, it's raining. It's pouring rain. He's out just getting it in. So we're on the Miami game. I love Miami here. I'm shocked the line even went down from 19 to 17. I saw 17 around and went from 19 and a half to 17. I like them, honestly, at 19. I'm not sure about the way that the hurricane went through. It actually didn't touch the East Coast. It was more of the Gulf side. So I don't think weather is going to be too much of a factor. I don't think it matters. I mean, Virginia Tech is going to be outmatched here, and Miami's offense is just way too good. This is the best Miami team I've seen in decades. And with a Heisman candidate right there, I know Mitch is loving it, that Miami's relevant again. Give me the Hurricanes.
We didn't go anywhere. We've always been relevant.
Oh, you weren't around.
We were around. 4 years ago, we beat the shit out of Notre Dame. We were ranked number 3 in the country. We were in the CFP playoff poll. We were in it. We just let it get away from us. We lost to Clemson in the ACC championship.
This is the best.
With
that season, y'all would have been in the college football playoff if you.
The simulation stated that.
We would have got our ass kicked. We had all our players got injured. Like everybody we had got injured after that. It was like after that game, everybody was injured. We were like on our 4th string quarterback or whatever. Well, what do you think? So you gave out just Miami's your pick?
Oh, 2 games. Sorry, I thought we were going one at a time. Second game, Rutgers on the money line at home. Washington traveling West Coast to East Coast. This Rutgers team just beat Virginia Tech. They're gritty. They're a good team. The fact that it's a small spread, I think defense, they're going to keep them in the game, and I see them winning it by a touchdown. So you don't even have to lay the 1. You could just take a minus 120, minus 115 Rutgers on the money line.
Mitch?
I don't know, man. I love my Canes. It's just tough for me to sit here and just back them every single time. I'll be rooting for them. I hope to hell they blow them out. I'll probably put in a bet on the alternate line, late 27.5 or something. But as far as giving it out, I don't feel all that comfortable with it. I think we're due for a game where we don't play so well, and it's going to happen, So I don't know if it happens here, if it happens against Florida State or whatever the case may be. But it's going to happen. Virginia Tech has always played us very, very tough, man. Very, very tough traditionally. But this is a different Miami team. I just love the way we are on the offensive line and like the way we are on the defensive line. And that really is the whole thing. I said a few weeks ago on this show that I thought that we were an Andre Johnson away from being a real contender. But I think we're starting to find some of these receivers that we had them on the roster. We just didn't know we had them. And we're starting to see them come out. We saw them last week. And they were
you got somebody to get them the ball.
So, I don't know. Really, the talk has been about Cam and the offense, but really the defense has really been ridiculous, man. 232 yards a game allowed, 64 yards rushing per game allowed, 2 yards per carry allowed. Passing, teams are completing just 56% of their passes against us. Teams, we're 12th best in QB rating against, and offensively, top 5 in almost all the major categories. So, I think this is the year that we might have them a little bit overmatched. Maybe we just control the ball, just run them over. I'll take the Canes. I'll lay the points. I think Greg Schiano at Rutgers, traditionally, we saw from him the last time he was at Rutgers when he was chopping wood. These are the games that he gets his team sky high for. Ironically, not so ironically, whatever, Schiano was the defensive coordinator at Miami. That was his first real big gig that he had. That Ed Reed defense and stuff was built by Schiano, even though he wasn't there when we won the national championship. I gotta say, I think Rutgers takes Washington. I think it's clear that Fish doesn't have his guys there, and he's gonna. That's the problem. So here's the thing about head coaches, and we're going to see this probably on Saturday in the Alabama game too, is that when the guys are named the head coach, the season is over, right? So recruiting has basically ended. Yeah. But when if the coach leaves, you can leave if you've signed with that team. It's always been that way, that if the coach leaves, you can leave. And there was a mass exodus at Washington. There was a mass exodus at Alabama. There's mass exodus when these guys leave. And it's like you can't always get guys back in. And I think that's what's happened at Washington. They're going to be fine down the road, but this year they're going to struggle a little bit. We're going to see Alabama struggle against the better teams too. I'm gonna take Rutgers in this one. Just take them on the money line.
I'm taking Virginia Tech plus the points.
You're an idiot.
I know. I just think it's the play. I do. Remind you, I gotta. Before y'all just blatantly call me a hater and all the same shit.
You're a hater.
I'm the guy. That's at start of the season. Miami's winning their conference. It's not. I think they're gonna run away with it. I got Miami going deep in the college football playoff this season. I'm kind of subscribing to the same thing, Mitch. They're gonna have a clunker. They're gonna have at least one, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's.
It should be pretty windy for this game. I think that's the one thing, and it has been raining every day.
The Hurricanes don't lose when there's hurricanes going through the state.
That's true.
The Hurricanes don't lose when there's hurricanes going through the state.
I don't think they lose this game. I think they're going undefeated. But 17 and the hook, nah, I can't get there. Especially, I will say I don't usually subscribe to this every day, every game, every situation. But in this one, Miami is really public. Nobody wants a part of Virginia Tech here. I could make the argument Virginia Tech has played the tougher schedule this season as well. When you look at it, that Vanderbilt team is better than I think.
Why did the line go down and the Sharps are not on Virginia Tech?
Because, I mean, I don't know.
I've been searching for it for a couple of days. I cannot figure out why the line went down. Outside of just the public is betting Virginia Tech, which is very.
I promise you, the public is not betting Virginia Tech.
I get it, but the line has been dropping.
That don't matter. Sometimes the books, I think, feel really good about where they at, and they still trying to get more Miami action. You can make that argument. Okay. It's still under. If it dropped under 17, I think you can make. But 17 in the hook, there's no difference between 19.
The key number value of 17 is very little.
But there's no difference between 19 and 17. There's no difference between 19 and 17 and a half. There's no difference there.
It's 2 points. It's a lot.
But name me a situation where 19 and 17, there's no number where you can get off on that number.
It's not a big number, correct. I agree with you.
You know what I mean? It's like it's football, so it's 20 and 17. You know what I mean? Unless you're really on a bad number like with safety or something like that. So moving from 19 to down to 17 and a half doesn't move it for me. If it went to 17, we'd be having a different conversation. I'm on Virginia Tech though. I can make the argument they've had a tougher schedule. We saw Marshall play pretty well against Ohio State last week, kind of. And then I don't necessarily know who Rutgers is, who I'll talk about in a second. I think we'll learn a lot about Rutgers tonight. So Miami wins the football game. Miami probably wins it by 2 touchdowns or 14-13 points is what I got Miami winning this football game by. Solid game. They continue to show they're one of the best teams in the country. They just don't cover the number. Is basically all I'm saying is I think this game plays out. And on the flip side, Rutgers, Washington, I'm taking Rutgers. Just home team, short favorite here. Washington still kind of has the, they were the team that went deep last year. Stigma attached to them a little bit. I think Rutgers, we got to see. They've played Howard, Akron, and Virginia Tech. You know what I mean? That's who they played this season. So the book is still out on who Rutgers is. I think we learned a lot about them tonight. Them being favored in this game, though, tells me what I need to know and what I'm looking for in this game. I'm taking Rutgers at home.
I'm taking Miami here, anything under 3 touchdowns. I'd have to disagree. I think Miami's played the tougher schedule. Maybe not by much, But if I'm saying if you toss out the two sort of throwaway games sandwiched in the middle, that's just what I classify them as. Old Dominion and Marshall for Virginia Tech, and Ball State, Florida A&M for Miami. Miami went into Gainesville and whooped the Gators.
That's the best game between the two. I'll agree. That's the best game between the two.
And went into USF. And while USF's played Alabama tough and they played Miami tough. And I think that they're a better team than probably a lot of folks are giving them credit for. Vandy, I think that was a game where Virginia Tech shot themselves in the foot. I think Vandy's going to improve, but I don't think Vandy's great by any stretch. And Marshall, sorry, not Marshall. Rutgers, it's a defense first team that likes to run the football, and I just don't see Virginia Tech's defense getting the pressure on Ward to make him uncomfortable and make him make mistakes. So I have this one 38-17 Miami. So I'll lay the points with the Hurricanes. Rutgers, Washington. It's going to be a black and blue game. I like the under, and I like Rutgers, I think.
Did you tell Eric the good news?
Patsy playing to financial freedom.
For a second, I thought Eric wasn't wearing a shirt. I thought he was just wearing the blazer.
What was the good news?
We have 17 people going to Vegas, and we couldn't fit you into the 17.
Yeah, it happens. I get it.
But then I think we could do 21, but we already have 3 people that.
Well, Eric can be my +1.
See?
Appreciate it.
Because we discussed, you basically cost us $10,000. I mean, between Lindsay, the wife, basically it was.
What do you think, Mitch?
Can't see.
He's put on Costy's little bag.
Fanny pack?
I got the Merce on. I got the Louis Merce.
You like it?
I buy my shit at Target, man.
Exactly.
Got nothing to prove to anybody.
That's it. The brand is actually called Merce at Target.
That's a lot of hate.
It's not hate. I'm just saying I get my stuff at Target. I have limited things that the stuff I buy really nice stuff, but I don't have a lot of that. You know.
How's the rain down there?
It's a beautiful day.
Let's see.
What do we got? Anything else? Parlay time? Is that where we're at?
Parlay.
Buffalo gave out his bad vibe square picks.
What? Ouch.
I gave out every dog in the MLB today because I'm not betting it. They're all roasting me in the comments.
We're not roasting you in the comments. We just think you're foolish and lack vision. You lack creativity and any kind of substance.
There's a clear difference.
It was like this today.
Yeah, I'll give you one. Go to the scores and I'll give you a good.
No, we already every dog we gave out. What do you mean? Give out a dog? Every dog.
We got to be specific.
No, I'm not betting. It was every single dog. That's what we did.
All right, it's that time. Chris?
Let's go with the over in the Rays and the Red Sox. Let's go with the San Francisco Giants and the Washington Nationals plus the 1.5.
Fighting off rumors all week. He did not go to Harvard. Costi?
Houston, Baltimore, Mets.
Jay?
You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati. The Reds. Let me get. Ooh, yeah.
We're the Yankees.
I'll lay a run line. And I'll lay a run line with the Seattle Mariners. Sears is burned down.
Whoa. I like the over in the Red Sox Rays. I like the Miami Hurricanes extended line. And I'll take Rutgers minus 4.5. When's the WNBA start? Semis.
Tomorrow? Sunday?
Hate that shit. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Make it a winning day. We'll be back tomorrow. I host on Saturday, so you know it's exciting. I don't know who's going to be on. A bunch of people sent me stuff that they said they're going to be on. I think Brian Biller will be there. Chris, you're on?
Yep, I'm on tomorrow.
Jay, you on? Tomorrow? No? No? Costi? Saturdays? No? Too close to game time for you?
Yeah, it's too busy. Too much going on.
Too much shit going on for us. All right, I think it's just me. Might be me, Chris Bittler, and Jovan.
Pull up on me on Sunday and have some fun. Pull up on them tomorrow and then pull up on me on Sunday.
Me, Chris Bittler, and Jovan tomorrow then. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, a lot of meaningless baseball games, and we still managed to make it almost a 2-hour show. It's how we roll.
Dogs bark.
Oh, oh.
Oh, oh.
What? What the hell are you doing, man?
Costi choked on a piece.